G'day. 35% of my Instagram followers are female. In 2017, that was just 9%. So why are more and more women turning on to Formula One, and where's the sport going? You're about to find out. Formula One is now sharply focused on growing the female fan base, and with good reason too. The upside is enormous. The biggest growth among women is the 18 to 34-year-old age bracket. Take the crowd outside the Sheraton in Shanghai or the Ritz-Carlton in Budapest over race weekend, and I reckon more than half are female, and they'll spend hours and hours waiting for their favourite drivers to appear. So what is behind the rise in young females embracing Formula One? Drive to Survive and social media. They've put F1 in front of millions of females, and more are getting hooked on the sport. At this point, a number of you, and you'll be mostly males, will be saying, maybe even shouting, "They're not real fans!" But seriously, what the is a real fan? Every person saying that was a new fan or not real fan at some point in their fandom. So at what point did they become a real fan and earn the right to look down on other not real fans? Many of those same males are just shouting that the female fans are just going crazy for the good-looking drivers. Of course, there'll always be an element of that, but is that a crime? I bet that many of those men swoon over fit and beautiful women. That's been going on since the dawn of time, so I suggest that argument is null and void. And while females being attracted to drivers might be the hook to get them interested, once they start watching races and researching the sport, many develop a real hunger for knowledge. They dig deeper into the intricacies of pit stops and strategies, and videos of mine like this one and this one open their eyes to all sorts of facets of the sport. In the paddock, I see plenty of well-dressed women. Of course, one reason is the product offering. Paddock Club offers an elegant and comfortable way to enjoy the sport, so women can dress up to the nines and be snapped or videoed by the world's media. Don't get me wrong, the men do it too, but for women, it's a perfect opportunity for them to dig out their designer dresses, their Birkin handbags, their Rolex diamond watches, and Louboutin shoes, and feel very much at home. Of course, the women's fashion out in the general admission areas is markedly different, but those fans are typically more passionate and more knowledgeable about the sport, and they are paying a fraction of the price of a paddock ticket. Getting back to my Instagram following, of the 684,000 who've clicked the follow button, and if you haven't done so, now is a perfect time, please, to do so, 35% or 239,400 are women. Back in 2017, that figure would have been more like 61,000 females if I'd had the same number of followers. Now here's a breakdown of my male audience, and here's the female. As you can see, it's a slightly younger demographic with the females, and that's a demographic that advertisers find very hard to reach. As a result, we are going to see more sponsors in Formula One desperate to target that female audience. Let's have a look at LVMH. They're paying a whopping $150 million a year to sponsor the sport. Now, most of their fashion brands target women over men. Sure, the likes of Hermes, Louis Vuitton, Dior, Fendi, Bulgari and Givenchy sell men's and women's products, but if you go into any of their retail outlets, you'll see way more space devoted to women's products than men's. Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Women are more fashion conscious, and when it comes to LVMH's cosmetic brands, their customers are almost solely female. My Instagram posts featuring the wives and girlfriends of F1 drivers go crazy. This post reached more than 1.5 million people and had over 100,000 likes. I can tell you that very few car pics are ever going to match that level of reach. In fact, it's rare that a pic of a driver would get that reach. It was the addition of his girlfriend Ellie that made that post go viral. I've mentioned this before, but there is an insatiable appetite for this type of content. And while the uneducated might assume that it's just guys ogling the women, they are miles off. Yeah. It's females who are most engaged when it comes to images of the wives and girlfriends. They'll study Alexandra's dress, search details of Carmen's top, zoom in on Kika or Rebecca's handbags, or check out the crochet skirt that Nico's wife Sunny wore in Bahrain. The F1 paddock is now the new fashion catwalk. What do other sports think of this? They're envious. A good many sports are looking at Formula One now and trying to work out what they've done to get that female fan base, because the upside is enormous. It attracts new sponsors, and sport is, above all, about money. I can tell you that it riles many that these girlfriends and wives are making a tidy living out of brand deals, such is their immense popularity. If they're going to be seen in magazines, newspapers, and on social media, why shouldn't they cash in? That's what their husbands and boyfriends are doing with their personal sponsorships. And if it's good for the guys, surely it's good for the girls. There is an argument that they're only popular because of their boyfriend. Does it matter? And while the offer of free clothes and brand deals is an attractive upside that comes with their popularity, there is also a downside. The haters, and there are plenty of them, mostly jealous females. Some of their comments are savage and their claims ridiculous. There are certainly a small sector of haters who see Kika or Alexandra effectively ruining their chance of becoming Pierre or Charles' girlfriend or even wife, and they wage all-out attacks on them. It is a sad byproduct of their fame. Getting back to F1 pursuing the female fan base, they decided to introduce F1 Academy in 2023. 21 races over 7 race weekends this year. It's run by Susie Wolff, yes, Toto's wife, and on May 28 this year, their Drive to Survive style documentary series will be aired. It's been produced by Reese Witherspoon's production company. Now, I'll be very keen to see what the demographics are like for that series. I'll bet that more than 50% of the audience will be females. I don't think it'll be anywhere near as big as the Drive to Survive series, given that they do have fewer races and a smaller following. But it will bring in new followers to the sport. 4-time World Drivers' Champion Sebastian Vettel was in Saudi Arabia recently, spending his own time and money promoting women in the sport. He flew in just prior to the Saudi GP to attend his Race for Women event. He raced alongside 20 young Saudi women. This sort of activity inspires females and grabs F1 fans' attention. Small steps, I know, but that's how every movement starts. I'm guessing about 20% of those working in the teams and paddock would be female, and that's across a whole host of roles. This year we've seen the first female race engineer, the F1 starter is a female, so is one of the best strategists in the sport. Linda Budabas and Katie Bucor are pivotal in Parc Ferme and on the podium, and we even have females doing F1 pit stops. We just need a female driver on the grid, and Susie Wolff says it's her challenge to get that done by 2030. Young women also watch TV broadcasts and see the likes of Naomi Schiff, Natalie Pinkham, Christine Gutierrez, and Mariana Becker on TV most race weekends. They look at that and think, those women have done it, why can't I? And that's good for the sport. Have a look at my most popular YouTube videos. Can you see a trend? F1 fans are going bonkers for this type of content, and that's why F1 management is focused on that segment of the fan base. There are so many more females than males who've never heard of this racing category. The challenge for F1 is to find ways to identify and convert them. By the end of 2026, I'll have 1.2 million followers on Instagram, and I have little doubt by then, half of them will be women. And if I go and post a picture of, say, Lance Stroll, might get 5,000 likes, if he walks in with a girlfriend, you can multiply that by 2 to 5 times. You'll have seen plenty of my driver and girlfriend pics on F1's Instagram channel. They too realise the power of those posts, and while I don't have the stats on the male to female breakup, I'm going to guess it's around 50-50. F1 is certainly doing a lot to make the sport more appealing to women. Some of those initiatives have been controversial, like the ditching of the grid girls. That divided fans, as did the swearing ban, both designed to avoid offence. Formula One will be thrilled when there are as many female fans as there are male, and I see that in the next 18 months. Now let me appeal only to the females watching. Guys, just look away for a second, turn the volume down. Ladies, could you please hit the like button and the subscribe button, because I need to get my numbers of female followers up on YouTube. All right, guys, come back in. Before I go, I want to thank Pirelli for sending me these beautiful caps. They're limited edition, and I'm holding one from each of the first 3 races, Australia, China, and Japan. And this is what the winning driver wears on the podium. I'm hopeful of collecting the full set this year. And one last thing, check out my other social media sites and website. Thanks for watching, and stay passionate. Test. We're doing a test recording now for Formula One F1. This is a video, and this is the level that I'll be talking at. What do you think is the quality of this, and do you think it's acceptable?